review the objectives. Marine Ethos. Marine Corps Warfighting Publication 1-0, Leading Marines, describes a leadership philosophy that reflects our tradition. Being a Marine is a state of mind. It is an experience some have likened more to a calling than a profession. Our Corps does two things for America. We make Marines, and we win our nation's battles. Our ability to successfully accomplish the latter, of course, depends on how well we warfighting. Marine Corps Doctrinal Publication 1 provides the basis for how we fight and how we prepare to fight. The nature of war. To understand the Marine Corps' philosophy of warfighting, we first need an appreciation for the nature of war itself. War is a violent struggle between two hostile, independent, and irreconcilable wills, each trying to. Countless factors make war difficult. Collectively, we refer to these factors as friction. Uncertainty may be the biggest contributor to friction on the battlefield. All actions in war take place in no single event in war can be viewed in isolation. Each event has been shaped by previous events and shapes the conditions that follow it. In an environment of friction, uncertainty, and fluidity, war gravitates naturally toward. War is a complex phenomenon that emerges from the collective behavior of the individual parts and players. The human dimension is central to war itself. War is shaped by human nature and is subject to its complexities. Violence is inherent in warfighting and is characterized by bloodshed, destruction, and suffering. War is characterized by the interaction of physical, moral, and mental forces. While the physical forces are easy to measure, the moral and mental forces are more difficult to quantify due to their. The nature of war is constant. The various aspects of war fall into the realms of science and art. The theory of war. Having arrived at a common view of the nature of war, war is an extension of policy and politics. War provides the means to accomplish At the highest level, war involves the coordinated application of all instruments of national power to achieve national objectives. It requires the application of diplomatic, information, and economic forces as well as military force. Collectively, we refer to the Marine Corps is the nation's force in readiness. The scalable, tailorable combined arms teams of the Marine Air-Ground Task. Marine NCOs should understand how the levels of war relate to operations that may involve the Marine Corps. Their strategic and operational levels of war help to define the tactical level where a Marine NCO operates. The levels of war overlap and tend to be compressed in many situations where Marines, as the nation's 911, all actions in war are based on either the initiative to act or a response to an action. Through initiative, we seek to. The styles of warfare exist on a spectrum between attrition and maneuver. The expeditionary nature of the Marine Corps reflects the ability to project a force globally and conduct operations. The ability to execute warfare is dependent on the capacity to project and sustain combat power. Combat power is It is not enough simply to generate superior combat power. To win, we must focus combat power toward a decisive aim. Two concepts that focus our combat power to have the greatest effect on the enemy are the concepts of centers of gravity and critical vulnerability. We seek to attack centers of gravity by penetrating the enemy's critical. Exploiting opportunity is the ability and willingness to ruthlessly exploit an opportunity to generate. Preparing for war. Through its preparedness, a military provides deterrence against potential aggressors. Force planning is planning that is associated with the creation and maintenance of military capability. Organization is tailoring the composition of the operational forces to provide forward-deployed forces capable of conducting expeditionary operations. Marine operating forces must maintain the capability to deploy by whatever means appropriate for the situation. Doctrine consists of the Marine Corps' central beliefs on the subject of war. It establishes a particular way of thinking about warfare and Marine leaders must be true experts in the conduct of war. They must be individuals of action. The purpose of training is to create forces that can win in combat. The goal of PME is to develop an expert in warfighting and professional leadership. Marine NCOs have an opportunity to exercise personnel management within their units. Effectively equipping your Marines with the appropriate gear and training them on its use and maintenance builds confidence. Gear should be appropriate for the conduct of war. The purpose of the United States Marine Corps is to secure. Maneuver warfare seeks to shatter the enemy's cohesion through rapid, focused, and unexpected actions that create a chaotic situation with which the enemy cannot cope. We seek to bypass enemy defenses, penetrate his system, and tear it apart. Orienting on the enemy is fundamental to maneuver warfare. Maneuver warfare attacks the enemy. It is essential that our philosophy of command supports the way we fight. To support the fluid and chaotic nature of the battlefield, command must be decentralized. Through our initiative, we seek to shape the course of events in a conflict to achieve victory. We do not merely. All actions in war result from decisions. Failure to make decisions surrenders initiative to the enemy, so any decision is preferable to no decision. Decision-making requires situational awareness. Mission tactics is the process of assigning subordinates missions without specifying how the mission must be accomplished. The mission tactics approach supports decentralized command and grants the subordinate. Commander's intent is the clear, concise articulation of the purpose behind one or more tasks assigned to the subordinate. The purpose of commander's intent is to allow subordinates to. Main effort is the action that is most critical to success at a particular moment. Main effort. The face of the battlefield is a combination of strengths and weaknesses. The ability to evaluate the opposition and the environment to determine enemy strengths and weaknesses is an important concept in warfare. Combined arms is the full integration of arms in such a way that to counteract one, the enemy must become more vulnerable to another. Maneuver warfare exists in the mind of the Marine. It applies. Congratulations! Select the Close button, then use the course menu to navigate to the next